He will never be a free man. He will take his last breath there.
Because of your existence, 2 beautiful, innocent lives were denied a full life. You eliminated their voices from this earth.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Day 3 after murdering somebody.
Wow!
You're in a tough spot because your son is the victim and the killer is your granddaughter. Can you talk about that?
She's not my granddaughter.
This is Mahek Bukhari, and she is in court charged with the double murder of Saqib Hussain and Hashimi Jazuddin, alongside her mother, Ansreen Bukhari. Mahek was a rising TikTok influencer in the UK, known for her beauty content and short lifestyle vlogs. Her mother, Ansreen, was a woman with a secret, though married. She had been carrying on an affair with a much younger man, 21-year-old Saqib Hussain. For a while, the affair stayed hidden. That is, until things began to turn sour between the lovers, and Saqib decided he wanted revenge. Saqib began threatening to reveal everything about the affair to Ansreen's husband, demanding $3,000 from Ansreen in exchange for his silence. He had saved messages, photos, videos, enough to shatter Ansreen's reputation, her marriage, and Mahek's carefully curated online image. But instead of paying him off, Mahek and Ansreen decided to get rid of the problem altogether. In February 2022, Mahek and her mother lured Saqib to a gas station under the pretense of giving him the money. What Saqib didn't know was that a group of men were waiting to ambush him, recruited by Mahek to teach him a lesson. But when Saqib and his friend Hashimi Jazuddin showed up, they sensed something was wrong. Saqib jumped into Hashim's car and they tried to flee. And then the men gave chase. Multiple cars followed them across the A46 motorway, swerving, speeding, and ramming. Saqib, terrified and knowing he was about to die, dialed 999 from the passenger seat. In the chilling call, he begged for help, telling the dispatcher that masked men in cars were trying to kill him. Moments later, the Audi he was in was forced off the road at over 100 km/h. It smashed into a tree and exploded. Both Saqib and Hashim were killed instantly. When police began investigating, Mahek initially claimed she had been out of town that night.
Me and May went. No, yeah, we were.
Where were you? Where was that?
So we first stayed here, and then we went straight to Mexico.
Right. Okay. In the Audi.
Yes.
What she didn't know at the time was that surveillance footage caught her going home around sunrise after the incident. Detectives quickly uncovered incriminating text messages between her and her mother, messages where Mahek said she would get guys to jump Saqib. Mahek was arrested and brought in for questioning. Inside the interrogation room, she tried to minimize her role in the entire thing.
There's a car that's coming on the right-hand side, a Seat Leon, don't know the model or anything, but it was blue. Come straight down, no speed, nothing, normal on the right hand side. We were always on the left hand side. This right hand side car's come now, the Leon, this is the blue one, has come straight next to me and come right in front of me, not very close. I've always said to myself, I'm a very good driver when it comes to this. I've been driving for 5 years, 4 to 5 years, and I've said to myself, always keep a 2 to 3 second rule gap, always, when I've said to myself.
But police did not buy it, and she was charged alongside her mother for murder. In court, the prosecution laid out what they described as a calculated, premeditated plan to lure and eliminate Saqib. The 999 call was played for the jury. Then, the CCTV footage and text messages between Mahek and her mother painted a clear picture for the jury. And Mahek's behavior in court didn't help her case. Though cameras weren't allowed inside the courtroom, reporters noted that Mahek, while in court facing the possibility of facing life in prison, was often seen smiling, laughing, waving at family members, and even playing board games as the trial dragged on. But that composure did not last very long. The moment the guilty verdict was announced, everything changed. Mahek burst into tears as the weight of reality finally crashed in. The court sentenced both Mahek and her mother Ansreen to life in prison. Mahek tried to maintain her composure, but when it came down to sentencing, broke down in tears. But what happens when a former influencer who used to model for Playboy learns she is going away for a long time? This is Kelsey Turner, known to her fans as Bad Barbie, and she is in court, facing charges of second-degree murder for the brutal killing of 71-year-old psychiatrist Dr. Thomas Burchard. To her tens of thousands of social media followers, Kelsey Turner was the image of glamour. A former Playboy model turned influencer, she posted images of vacations, designer clothes, lavish homes. But what her fans did not know was that all that glamour was sponsored by one man, Dr. Thomas Burchard. Dr. Thomas Burchard was a well-respected psychiatrist from California, and he had been financially supporting Turner for years. He paid her rent, covered her car payments, bought her gifts, and even helped raise her children. Reports say he spent well over $750,000. But things would suddenly take a bad turn. On March 1, 2019, Burchard flew into Las Vegas to visit Turner at the home he was paying for. What he found was not what he expected. As it turns out, Turner had moved on to a new boyfriend, John Kennison. But that was not the only thing that happened. Turner allegedly discovered messages between Burchard and her mother. She believed they were planning to take her children away. And that discovery was all it took for things to go horribly wrong. 4 days later, Burchard's body was discovered in the trunk of a Mercedes in the Nevada desert. He had been bludgeoned to death, his body so badly beaten it was barely recognizable.
The psychiatrist's body was found March 7th in the trunk of a Mercedes on the far east side of Clark County, 2 miles off a main road.
Police quickly traced the car the body was discovered in, and it led them directly to Turner. They also found a trail of rather disturbing legal reports. Dozens welfare checks at her home, a filed missing persons report, and now a body. But by the time police got to the apartment, Turner, Kennison, and her roommate Diana Pena had all vanished into thin air. The police immediately began to look for the trio, but the manhunt didn't last long. With the FBI's help, Las Vegas police located Turner in Stockton, California. She was traveling with her young son. Meanwhile, the real break in the case came when the roommate, Diana Pena, frightened and visibly shaken, walked into the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and turned herself in. And what she told investigators ripped the mask off Kelsey Turner's online persona and cracked the case wide open. Turner was subsequently arrested and arraigned on charges of murder, and in court, she pleaded guilty under an offered plea, maintaining her innocence while acknowledging the overwhelming evidence against her. But the most breaking moment was when Judy Earp, Dr. Burchard's fiancée, took the stand to address the court.
My entire world was viciously ripped from me with the murder of Thomas K. Bouchard, my fiancé and long-term partner. Since that time, I have suffered unimaginable grief and loss, which has taken its toll on me physically, emotionally, and financially.
She told the court that Turner had even gone as far as threatening Burchard with doctored images that falsely accused him of.
She told him that she would accuse him of having pornography. She even texted me a photo saying that it was a 10-year-old. I showed that text and photo to 2 different police and a doctor, and they all told me it was not a 10-year-old. It was just some random picture off the internet. You can imagine what kind of mental torture that was for him. Just the thought of such allegations would end his lifelong career.
She begged the judge to hand down the maximum sentence.
But the hardest of all to accept is that from what I have seen, Kelsey Turner shows absolutely no remorse and does not accept any responsibility for the murder she committed. In light of the fact that in the 3.75 years that she has already spent incarcerated and still shows no sign of rehabilitation, I respectfully request that she be given the maximum sentence allowed by law and no parole possible.
And the judge did just that. Kelsey Turner was sentenced to serve between 10 to 25 years behind bars.
Ms. Turner, in accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, you're hereby adjudged guilty of second-degree murder, felony. I'm going to impose the $25 administrative assessment fee, the $3 DNA collection fee, $150 DNA fee, as well as the test to determine genetic markers. You're hereby sentenced to 10 to 25 years in the Nevada Department of Corrections. Additionally, there will be $2,817.34 to Nevada victims of crime.
Kelsey Turner was completely emotional during her sentencing. But how does that compare to this defendant's reaction as the courtroom applauded his sentencing?
His last breath there.
Now, this is Ali Abulaban, known to his online fans as Jin Kid, and he is in court, facing 2 counts of first-degree murder. Ali was a TikTok star with over 1 million followers, best known for his Scarface impressions and comedic skits.
Okay. What can I get you? Hey, handsome. What the call me? Sorry, man. I'll have a venti dolce caramel macchiato with no ice. What the is wrong with this guy, man? Get him your way.
But behind the viral content was a man spiraling into obsession, jealousy, and violence.
Tell me what you saw when you went in there.
I saw my wife on the couch.
His marriage to 28-year-old Ana Abulaban was already rocky. There were public arguments and disturbing videos posted online. But what his followers did not know was that something darker was brewing.
She don't think. She don't think. She don't think. And you know what? Goodbye to your little citizenship there, Miss Filipino. But I'm not ready. I don't call the police on people I love. Out of here, bro. This lured me to San Diego for what? So she could be her friends?
Stop lying to them, Ollie.
No, it's the truth. Yeah, you got friends now. Now you don't have a husband. Okay.
When the relationship fully collapsed, Ana kicked him out of their San Diego apartment, and Ali moved into a hotel. Their daughter stayed with Ana. But instead of letting go, Ali began stalking his estranged wife. He secretly installed a listening app on his daughter's iPad, an app that streamed live audio from Ana's apartment straight to his phone. It was a digital wiretap, and on October 21st, 2021, it delivered the sound that would ignite a double homicide. Ana laughing with another man. Ali drove straight to the apartment armed with a loaded gun. He barged in and shot 29-year-old Rayburn Cardenas Barron, and then turned the gun on Ana. Both were shot execution style in the head multiple times. Then, Ali did the unthinkable. He took photos of their dead bodies and sent them to his family. Afterward, he called 911.
San Diego emergency, dispatcher 8107.
Yes, ma'am. My wife and another man were, I found them dead on the couch. Bullet holes to the face.
Wait, someone was shot?
2 people, a man and my wife.
But when police arrived at the high-rise apartment, there was no hiding what he had done. The scene was brutal and deliberate. Ali was arrested on the spot. In court, Ali admitted to the killings, but tried to reframe them.
I couldn't take it. I couldn't take the betrayal. I couldn't believe that she could do that to me, to our daughter. And then before I could stop myself, I just left. My gun was in my hand, and next thing I'm shooting, and I can't stop. I'm just shooting, and I'm even startled. It's like I'm watching it happen. I'm like I'm in the passenger seat of my own body.
His defense team leaned into that angle hard, claiming Ana had emotionally manipulated him and triggered his breakdown.
She drove him to the brink. Anna knew Ollie well. She knew exactly what to say and how to say it to cut him directly to the bone. She knew his underlying vulnerabilities, his insecurities about his mental illness, his drug addiction, and his own chaotic upbringing. She used these and she weaponized them against him. He was so completely overcome by the months of torture and heartache and pain that he reacted without thought, without judgment, and without malice.
But prosecutors told the jury to see right through that excuse. They presented Ali not as a broken man, but a calculating one. He had installed spyware, he had stalked Anna, and he had walked into that apartment with clear intent. All deliberated actions of a very calculated killer.
Can somebody please help me? Hello? Molly!
Stop.
Leave me the alone! I'm holding my finger! I'm trying to leave this house!
Yeah, that's not cool.
Give me my phone!
With a bunch of guys?
Give me my phone!
Bunch of guys, huh?
Give me my phone! There's no guys! Give me my phone!
The jury heard dozens of disturbing voicemails and text messages, evidence of a man who tormented his wife even after their split.
She sees the value in me, unlike your dumb and I can't wait to divorce you.
In closing arguments, they made it plain.
The defendant felt disrespected by Anna and Ray. So he executed a plan, and then he executed them. And their families cannot see them anymore because the defendant was so possessive and controlling of Anna that if he could not have her, no one could. And she couldn't live. And any man she was with could not live either.
After a day and a half of deliberation, the jury returned with a guilty verdict.
We, the jury in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Ali Nasser Abulaban, guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree of Rayburn Cardenas.
In the final moments of the trial, Anna's family delivered powerful victim impact statements.
My mom picked you up! Sorry, Your Honor. What did they do to you? You didn't do anything to you! You know Anna Marie's not gonna go cheat if you didn't cheat first!
Ali tried to apologize.
I am so incredibly sorry to each and every one of you who have been affected by this. I cannot imagine the pain that I've caused your families.
And even addressed his daughter from the stand.
Amira, when you're old enough to see this, please don't blame yourself. None of this is your fault. Your mom loved you so much, and I love you so much.
But the court was unmoved.
I've watched him here during all of this time. When I saw the Scarface videos, it's as if when he committed these crimes, he became that persona of Scarface, of just cold-blooded killing without remorse. Any tears that he's cried in this courtroom have been for himself. I don't know if he's really sorry.
Then came the final blow. 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. As the judge read the sentence, Ali sat in stunned silence.
In the end, the judge sentenced Abulaban to the maximum, life without parole, plus an additional 50 years to life for using a gun.
The bottom line here is he will die in prison. He will never be a free man. He will take his last breath there.
As for the rest of the courtroom, they erupted in applause. Ali was stunned at his sentencing. But here is what happens when the court exposes a perfect mom influencer for who she truly was.
Where I have broken hearts, and I've caused people to suffer, and I have betrayed sacred trust.
This is Ruby Franca, and she is in court, facing charges of aggravated. At one point, Ruby was a YouTube darling. As the matriarch of the 8 Passengers channel, she captivated millions with daily videos showing her large Mormon family, parenting advice, homeschooling routines, and what she called tough love.
We will be talking all about empowering your children through setting boundaries, teaching them responsibility, and helping them to heal from anxiety. Hope to see you there. You guys are gonna watch each other. I made dinner, but you have to eat dinner. Got it? No.
Silly business.
I was gonna say hanky-panky, but that's not right, I'm pretty sure. No silly business. That's better.
But while her subscribers saw a well-managed household and disciplined children, Behind closed doors, a much darker version of parenting was unfolding. It all came crashing down in August of 2023. That's when Ruby's 12-year-old son, Russell, managed to escape through a window of Jody Hildebrandt's house in Ivins, Utah. Emaciated, bruised, and bound with duct tape, he ran to a neighbor's house, pleading for food and water. The horrified neighbor immediately dialed 911.
911, the address of your emergency. Okay, and the phone number you're calling from. Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he just came from a neighbor's house, and we know there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty.
Police responded swiftly and rushed Russell to the hospital, while the other officers went into the house to check in on the other children.
He was treated by paramedics at the scene.
Look to your left.
As handcuffs closed over Ruby Frankie's wrists, her brutal reign of terror came to an abrupt end.
Do you need medical attention before you go to the jail?
What they found during their investigation wasn't just neglect. It was methodical, long-term abuse.
But paramedics were moved to tears by what they found inside their multi-million-dollar home. A traumatized child sat motionless in a closet, undernourished and too terrified to talk.
Are you scared?
It's okay if I just sit here with you. We don't have to say anything if you don't want to.
Authorities discovered the children had been tied up with duct tape, denied food for extended periods, forced to sleep on bare floors, and other punishments.
Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch. I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, so the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry.
Put them in your pockets so you can take them down to the hamper and drop and give me 10.
1.
Put your hands straight out. They're in. They're not supposed to be out. Shape your hands forward. There you go.
As detectives pieced together the horror, they also looked back at Ruby's public content online.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October.
She committed horrible acts of abuse. From May to August in 2023, Ms. Frankie and her business partner held her 2 children, ages 9 and 11, turning 12, in a concentration camp-like setting. Had the older of the children not had the courage to run away and ask a neighbor to call the police, heaven only knows how much longer he could have survived in that situation.
It became evident that the abuse wasn't just happening off camera. Hints had been hiding in plain sight. When the case got to court, Ruby pleaded guilty to the charges against her.
Ms. Frankie, how do you plead to count 1, aggravated abuse, a second-degree felony?
Guilty.
To count 3, aggravated abuse, a second-degree felony?
Guilty.
To count 5, aggravated abuse, a second-degree felony?
Guilty.
At her sentencing, Ruby Frank sat silent and stiff as Judge John Walton addressed her.
I'm committed to continuing my learning until all of my toxic layers are shed, and I am ready to re-enter as a contributing member of our beautiful society.
But as the judge read through the details of the abuse,
Where I have broken hearts, and I've caused people to suffer, and I have betrayed sacred trust. Watching my community respond to my charges with justice and mercy and grace and love is all the more evidence to me how wrong I've been.
still no tears or apologies could undo what had been done. Then came the sentence.
That Ms. Frankie served 4 counts, 4 1 to 15-year sentences based on her convictions for 4 counts of aggravated abuse. They will serve consecutively.
As for Jody Hildebrandt, Ruby's partner and the woman accused of reinforcing Ruby's abusive behavior under the guise of coaching, she was also convicted and sentenced for her role in the case.
Given the gravity and circumstances of the offenses, the number of victims, and the history and character and needs of the defendant, that consecutive sentences are appropriate. the court imposes 4 1 to 15 year sentences to be again served consecutively for each of the 4 counts of aggravated abuse.
Ruby maintained her composure at her sentencing, but here is the reaction of a young influencer when faced with the consequences of one reckless night. This is Cameron Herron, and he is in court, facing charges of vehicular homicide. At just 18 years old, Cameron Herron had everything: a brand new black Mustang, a supportive family, and millions of TikTok fans who came online to watch his every move. But on May 23, 2018, one reckless decision would change all of that. Authorities say Herron was street racing with his older brother down Bayshore Boulevard in Tampa, Florida, at over 100 miles per hour. That same moment, 24-year-old Jessica Reisinger-Raubenold was out for a walk with her 20-month-old daughter, Lilia. She was pushing her baby in a stroller when she tried to cross the street. She never made it across. The impact from Herron's car was horrifying. Jessica was thrown dozens of feet into the air. Her daughter, Lilia, was launched from the stroller and flung across the road. Both were rushed to the hospital, but neither survived. Lilia was declared dead the same day, while Jessica died the next morning. Cameron Herron was arrested and charged with 2 counts of vehicular homicide. But this wasn't just another tragic case of street racing gone wrong. This case spiraled into something bigger when Cameron stepped into a courtroom. Videos of Herron sitting in court went viral. TikTok users flooded the internet with fan edits, calling him too cute for prison and hashtagging "Ensure Justice for Cameron." Others romanticized his youthful looks, completely disregarding the brutality of the crime. But the family of the victim did, because in April 2021, during sentencing, Jessica's husband, David Raubenold, gave a heart-shattering victim impact statement in court.
I've suffered horrifically every moment. It is nearly impossible to put into words the agony of this legal process. Because of your existence, 2 beautiful, innocent lives were denied a full life. You eliminated their voices from this earth.
Then it was Judge Christopher Nash's turn.
I did consider, I also want to make a record, I did consider sentencing Mr. Herron as a youthful offender, but for the same reasons that I'm discussing, I didn't think sentencing him as a youthful offender was appropriate. I agree that youthful offender was something that the court could have done. I did consider it. I carefully considered it.
Herron was sentenced to 24 years in Florida State Prison.
Vehicular homicide. The court's going to adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence him to 9 years in Florida State Prison. On count 2, same charge. The court will adjudicate the defendant guilty, sentence him to 15 years Florida State Prison. That'll run consecutive to count 1. For a total of 24 years Florida State Prison.
On hearing the sentence, Herron's expression broke and he looked rather stunned by the sentence. Over 30,000 people signed a Change.org petition calling the sentence excessive. Social media split in 2. Some argued that Herron didn't deserve to spend decades behind bars for what they saw as an accident. Others pointed out that Jessica and Lilia didn't get second chances. But as far as the court is concerned, the trial is long over.
Although this won't bring my wife back, I hope that this sentence will inspire younger folks to behave in a manner that is appropriate amongst our streets.
Cameron Herron was stunned at the length of his sentence. But how does that compare to the reaction of 2 wannabe YouTubers who filmed videos after murdering someone?
You're going to be sentenced to 48 to 120 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. On count 2, you're going to be sentenced to life in the Nevada Department of Corrections with the possibility of parole after 20 years has been served.
This is Sierra Halseth and her boyfriend, Aaron Guerrero, and they are being charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, arson, and robbery. for the brutal killing of Sarah's own father, 45-year-old Daniel Halseth.
Put in 25 push-ups, huh? How's that sound?
The dad was a fitness and travel buff who loved to post videos online, including these moments as a doting dad.
There's Sierra.
Authorities reported that 16-year-old Sierra was dating 18-year-old Aaron Guerrero, and this was a relationship Daniel didn't approve of.
But he reportedly didn't approve of his 16-year-old daughter Sierra dating 18-year-old Aaron Guerrero. And he wasn't alone. His ex-wife, Elizabeth, a former Nevada Republican state senator, also had a problem with her daughter's relationship. After they banned Sierra from seeing Aaron, Sierra's father disappeared.
Concerned about his daughter's future and the seriousness of the teenage romance, he tried to put an end to it, even reaching out to Aaron's parents. And together, both families agreed to separate the couple. But Sierra and Aaron had other plans. According to investigators, the teens had once discussed running away to Los Angeles. When that didn't work out, and their communication was cut off, they decided for them to be together, they would remove the one person standing in their way. On April 8, 2021, Sierra and Aaron carried out a carefully planned murder inside the Las Vegas home Daniel shared with his daughter. Security footage and receipts would later show the two teens buying saws, gloves, bleach, plastic drop cloths, and a canister of lighter fluid at a local Home Depot. Later that day, the two of them attacked Daniel, stabbing him over 70 times. Detectives believe the couple waited for him to come home from work, then ambushed him. After the attack, they dragged his body to the garage, stuffed him into a sleeping bag, and set his corpse on fire, hoping to cover up the evidence. Sierra sent text messages from his phone to her grandmother, Christine, pretending everything was fine, and making up several reasons why her father was unable to take his calls. But as time passed and there was no response from Daniel, Christine grew more and more suspicious, and she decided to get the police involved.
How may I help you?
Yeah, hi, I need a welfare check. I don't know if
On who are we doing a welfare check?
for my son. He's been missing for 2 days. His work's called, his family's called, I've called, his ex-wife's called, and there's nobody answering the phone, and there's nothing. Nobody can get a hold of him, and then his work called, and they can't get a hold of him, and it's really, he just doesn't act like this.
Okay. Does he live alone?
He lives with his 16-year-old daughter, who is not answering the phone.
Okay.
Or replying to a text.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird part is, I'll just tell you this, there's been ATM withdrawals at 3 different ATM.
She also asked the landlady, Peggy, to check on Daniel before the police got there, and when Peggy and her friend walked into that home, they were greeted with the worst shock of their lives.
Do you need police, fire, or medical?
How's there a dead body on there? Oh my God, 8417 Dunphy Court. There was a fire, and we went in to investigate. The fire must be a couple days old. But there's a dead body in the garage. We just found him with the homeowner that doesn't live here.
Okay, and you're in there right now?
Yes.
Meanwhile, Sierra and Aaron, panicked by the growing concern, were on the run. Surveillance footage picked them up driving Daniel's blue Nissan out of the area. 4 days after the murder, they were caught by transit officers in Utah. The teens had tried to ride the train without tickets. Police ran their names and immediately linked them to a murder warrant in Las Vegas. They were taken into custody and extradited back. Meanwhile, back in Nevada, police executed a search warrant and discovered the full scope of what happened. They found bloodstains in the hallway, a charred body in the garage, and blood-stained instruments they had used to murder Daniel.
And when you look at the crime scene in itself, it is definitely something that's disturbing. There's no question they had made attempts to his body. We've recovered a chainsaw, circular saw, and a handsaw inside the house that was recently purchased and used.
But what they found on their phone was even far more disturbing.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. After Day 3 after murdering somebody.
Whoa! Don't put that on the camera.
It was worth it.
And we had a lot today.
That's worth it. I got plenty. I was payment for doing it.
We overcame.
Yeah.
So yeah.
In court, both teenagers initially pleaded not guilty to the charges.
Guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. Not guilty.
But as the prosecution built its case and the public backlash intensified, they changed their plea. But that was not the last thing they did. In a move no one saw coming, Sierra tried to shift the blame not to her boyfriend, but to the dead man himself.
Your Honor, my biological father has traumatized me. Trauma that I still have to work through every day. I've never had any problems and I've always been a positive influence. I was always sure of myself and my work hard passion. But when my biological father took control of my life, I've never felt so lost and hurt. Not only did he hit me and put his hands on me, but he shaved me, touched me, did me, slapped me, kissed me, as well as letting others do the same.
Aaron, on the other hand, appeared remorseful. He apologized in court to the family of his victim.
I wish I could do something for those who loved him, to stop their suffering and mourning, the same way I would suffer if someone was taken from me. My only hope now is that I also find family and friends a way to forgive him. He did not deserve to pass in such a horrible way. He was a way better man than I'll ever be. I ask for your forgiveness as I get sentenced today, and I hope it brings you a little peace. I want these years to repent and endure the consequences of my actions. So when I might get the chance of release one day, I'll be able to say I learned my lesson. That's all I would like to say. Thanks for allowing me to speak.
During the victim impact statements painted Daniel as a caring, devoted father, a Navy veteran and tech consultant who only wanted the best for his daughter.
He selflessly coached me through everything a father would have taught his kid. You hear my brother ask me to forgive? And to be honest, I'm not sure that's even possible. Thank you.
One of Daniel's brothers even believed that they both should have gotten the death sentence.
Knowing that they needed him. A selfish and humane act by his own daughter and her boyfriend has taken him away from us forever. Now he's not even around for his family and I miss him every day. Our family wasn't able to choose their punishment, but they both should have gotten death for the life they took. 20 years will never be enough for taking damage. Thank you.
And then, the moment Sierra's grandmother and the mother of the man Sierra helped murder addressed the court.
Where did the evil come that was bred into a soul that murders their own father, stab, drag his lifeless body down the stairs, desecrate a body with a saw in the garage and then burn him? Was that really laughter in a YouTube video, bragging about what had been done to my son? And it's this picture of bewilderment, seeing his daughter stabbing away his last breath, and with tears in his eyes, looking up at her and asking just one final question: why?
The judge handed down identical sentences for both. Life in prison with the possibility of parole only after 20 to 22 years.
You're going to be sentenced to 48 to 120 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. On count 2, you're going to be sentenced to life in the Nevada Department of Corrections with the possibility of parole after 20 years has been served. You're going to be sentenced to life in the Nevada Department of Corrections with the possibility of parole after 20 years has been served, plus a consecutive 24 to 60 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections for a deadly weapon enhancement. That's ordered to run concurrent to count 1.
Sierra remained passive while Aaron was visibly in tears as the sentence was passed down. Outside the courtroom, Sierra's grandmother, Christine, spoke to reporters.
You're in a tough spot because your son is the victim and the killer is your granddaughter. Can you talk about that?
Well, she's not my granddaughter.